हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, गुड इवनिंग ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? उम्मीद करते हैं आप सब बहुत अच्छे हैं। यस, होप यू ऑल आर डूइंग ग्रेट, होप यू ऑल आर फाइन। कुछ मन में थोड़ा बहुत टेंशन होगा कि सर एग्जाम्स नजदीक आ रहा है, करे तो करे क्या। डोंट वरी। चलिए, बाय द वे, जो लोग अभी देख रहे हैं जल्दी से चैट बॉक्स में कुछ बोलिए। आर यू ऑल एबल टू हियर मी प्रॉपरली? आर यू ऑल एबल टू सी मी प्रॉपरली? Okay, wow, I can see so many students ka good evening. Hey, hi Soumya, hi Dhrumi madam. Okay, come on. So, चलिए, your exam economics का exam is on 19th December exactly at 2 o'clock. बहुत सारा मन में टेंशन होगा कि सर कैसा प्रिपरेशन करे, क्या करे, व्हाट हैज टू बी डन। काफी सारे जो है वो गूज बम्स आते रहेंगे, बट डोंट वरी। आई प्रॉमिस यू द नेक्स्ट 50 मिनट का सेशन इज गोना बी वेरी यूजफुल फॉर यू। सर आप ये 50 मिनट्स में सारे चैप्टर कैसे सर आप रिवाइज कराओगे? आप टेंशन बिल्कुल मत लीजिए, मैं आपको काफी सारा स्ट्रेटेजीज बना के दूंगा। ए हाय वेदांत, टुडे इज 17th November, मतलब अराउंड अबाउट यू आर हैविंग एग्जैक्टली 25 to 30 डेज इन योर हैंड। आपके हाथ में जो है वो 25 से 30 दिन है। आई कैनॉट एक्सपेक्ट कि आप 25 से 30 दिन में जो है वो पूरा पूरा इकोनॉमिक्स ही बैठ के पढ़े, बिकॉज आपको जो है वो दूसरे भी काफी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स है। यू आर हैविंग सो मेनी अदर सब्जेक्ट्स आल्सो टू स्टडी यार। सर तो हम लोग ये कितना अभी सर ये 25-30 दिन में से इको के लिए कितना दिन दे? अगर आप मेरे से पूछेंगे ना, 3-4 दिन से ज्यादा इको के लिए मत दे, मैं सामने से बोल रहा हूँ। आई एम टेलिंग यू, डोंट गिव मोर देन 3-4 days फॉर इको। आप दूसरा सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना, because we want here that you should score good marks not only in economics but in all the subjects. तो अभी इको में सर 60 on 60 कैसा लाए, उसके लिए हमें क्या क्या करना है? रेगुलर लेक्चर्स में तो आई वुड हैव टोल्ड यू सो मेनी थिंग्स। रेगुलर लेक्चर्स में तो आई वुड हैव टोल्ड यू सो मेनी थिंग्स। I'll do one thing. I'll keep my conversation majorly in English, because if any other student, if he's attending from some other state, so he or she should not have a problem. So my general discussion would be in English only. Don't worry. Yeah. So, my dear champions, my dear rock stars, let's have this great session. First of all, be very frank and be very honest. आपको जो भी queries रहेगा, you can ask. What has to be done? अभी करना क्या है अगले 20-25 दिन में? According to me, you should not study eco for more than 2-3 days. That is, अगर मैं hours wise if I talk, no need of studying eco for more than 10-15 hours. Worst come worst scenario, maximum 20 hours is enough in the next couple of days. What should be your preparation strategy, my dear champions? आपका जो प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रेटेजी है वो क्या होना चाहिए? आपका प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रेटेजी में फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, लेट मी टेल यू। अच्छा, आई एम सो हैप्पी सम स्टूडेंट्स आर टेलिंग दैट वी हैव फॉलोड दैट। इफ यू आस्क मी, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, start with chapter number 1 and then after completing chapter number 1 go to chapter number 5. Chapter 1, chapter 5. I repeat, chapter 1 and chapter 5. Don't follow the order, don't go as per the module order 1 2 3 4 5. After chapter 1 I would suggest that please go for chapter number 5. When I say after chapter 1, you will go for chapter number 5, because these two topics, chapter number 1, nature and scope of business economics, and business cycles, these two topics are comparatively very small. ये काफी छोटे chapter हैं. So when I say that these two chapters are very small, so you can easily complete it. अभी chapter number 1 अगर आपको मैं बोलूं, तो you can easily complete chapter number 1 in 2 to 3 hours. अगर इफ somebody says ना, सर मैंने अभी तक तो पढ़ाई स्टार्ट भी नहीं की है, मुझे मालूम भी नहीं है उसके अंदर क्या है, still you can complete chapter number 1 in 2 to 3 hours. Trust me, you can complete chapter number 1 in 2 to 3 hours. Chapter number 1 में what is the main area which you should focus? You should focus on an area called as introduction, nature and scope of business economics. Once again, I'm repeating, you should focus more on introduction, nature and scope of business economics. And you very well know that in business economics, you should play with one important word called as decision making. So focus more on important words like decision making. And then if you remember business economics is micro or macro, then it has got a close connection with micro. Why it has got a close connection with micro? Because decisions are always taken at individual level. Then business economics is science or art, it is both science as well as art. Then if you remember one more point, business economics is multidisciplinary in nature. My dear champions, why it is multidisciplinary in nature? Because we are taking the help of many other subjects like your statistics, mathematics and all that. So business economics is multidisciplinary in nature. So ये सब points आपको याद रखना है. And then if you remember scope of business economics is divided into two parts, micro and macro. Micro is also known as internal or operational. Macro is nothing but your external or environmental. So macroeconomics, there are two important policies which you have to remember: fiscal policy and monetary policy. When I say fiscal policy and monetary policy, so you very well know policies will affect the decision making of your business. So you can easily revise business economics within about half an hour to 1 hour. After business economics, the second area which you have to hit in chapter number 1, what is that? Capitalism, socialism mixed. If you remember in our regular lectures, those who have attended my regular lectures, we would have compared and studied capitalism, socialism mixed. Other name for capitalism, other name for socialism, other name for all that we have studied. Objectives, then other than objectives, where the competition is more, how the prices are decided in different economies. So that will take about half an hour to 45 minutes. Rest, trust me, one small concept of positive economics and what you call normative economics. So you have to just focus on this 2-3 concept in chapter number 1, and chapter number 1 gets over. I'll repeat, chapter number 1 gets over within this 2-3 important concepts. Sir, could you repeat that? Sure. Business economics may say, trust me, my dear sweethearts, you can expect about 4 to 5 MCQs from the concept of business economics. From capitalism, socialism, you can expect about 2-3 MCQs. From positive, normative, maybe they will ask MCQ. So maximum they can ask you 8 to 10 MCQs from your chapter number 1. And I don't want any of our student to lose even a single mark in chapter number 1, because here there is a big penalty here of minus 0.25. तो वो हम में से किसी के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए. That should not happen with any one of us. So chapter number 1, again I'm giving you an idea what all to study. Business economics का introduction, nature, scope. Then capitalism, socialism mixed के features, advantage, disadvantage. Then if you remember positive, normative, that's it. Sir, after revising the concept, sir, how we will revise the concept? I would have told you, it is advisable that you can take one reading from your, what do you call, ICI study material or our classes ka notes. Second and third reading, or if you feel that last moment मेरे पास time नहीं है, still don't avoid ICI material. ICI material का एक reading तो ले लो. But if you feel that you are getting little, irritated or getting confused in that, I'm damn sure you all might be having handwritten summary notes. So that handwritten summary notes is going to help you a lot at this last moment. Handwritten summary notes is going to help you a lot at the last moment. Either, of course, the main first reading you can take from our ICI module or our classes ka notes. Both are on same lines only. Then multiple revision, if you want that nahi, if you feel that मेरे पास अभी ज़्यादा time नहीं है, then second, third revision or multiple reading, second, third time revision has to be done from the summary notes which you have written in your notebook. Now I'm coming to the main part. Solve all the MCQs of ICI behind chapter number 1, जो भी exercise MCQs है. There are about 45 to 46 MCQs in chapter number 1 in your ICI module. So solve all that. After that, अपने क्लासेस के जितने भी वो टेस्ट पेपर वगैरह थे वो आपने सॉल्व किए रहेंगे ऐसा मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूं. And the most important, I want you all to solve. I'll show you something on the screen. Let me do the share screening. Let me do the share screening. Just a moment. Microsoft. Just a moment, my dear. I'm doing the share screening. ICI के website में there are two model papers. Okay, there are two model papers. So I want you all to solve that. Just give me 1 minute. I'll show you that. मैं share screen करके आपको वो सब बता रहा हूँ. Don't worry. I hope so. You all are able to see the screen. अरे बोलिए. Okay. So in this screen you can clearly see, my dear. There is something called as mock test paper for December 2021 examination, series 1, and mock test paper for December 2021. Yes. So you have to solve these paper also. You have to solve all these paper also. Just a moment. I hope you all are getting me. Yeah, students, I hope so. You are practically trying to understand what I'm trying to say, right? Yes. So ये जो mock test series है, ये मॉक टेस्ट पेपर जो है वो आपने सॉल्व करना है एट एनी कॉस्ट. यस, जो आईसीआई ने रिलीज किया हुआ है. जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट. या स्टूडेंट, सो यस, अब मेरे दोस्तों मेरे या तो आपने एट एनी कॉस्ट यू हैव टू सॉल्व दिस. At any cost you have to solve these papers, right? तो again मैं आपको वो share screen करके बताता हूँ what are those papers. Okay, I'll quickly show you what are those papers, my dear. वो पेपर आपने सॉल्व करना है, उसमें आपको चैप्टर नंबर 1 के काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस मिल जाएंगे. Then after that, let me tell you one more important thing. There is something called as EMA foundation course में जा रहा हूँ. In that I'm going into business economics. In that you can see there is something called as mock test paper. So mock test paper भी there are two papers, series 1, series 2. So you have to solve that paper. Yes, the time is not permitting, or else I would have tried my level best to solve it with you only यहाँ पे, but the time is not permitting, so we can't do that now. But still, तो मेरे को एक बात बताओ, are we very very clear with chapter number 1 का planning? Chapter number 1 का planning समझा आपको अच्छे से? What all has to be done? Can I please have a yes or no, all of you? Come on, fine. Are we very clear with the planning of chapter number 1, my dear? Okay, if you're very clear with the planning of chapter number 1, I would be very happy to discuss the planning of next chapter. And after giving you the plan of all the 5 chapters, I may chapter 3 4 mein I may revise some important concepts also, so be there with me till 9. Okay, chaliye. Great, thank you so much for all your replies. Now my dear champions, after chapter 1 my request would be to go for chapter number 5. I can repeat, after chapter 1 my request would be that you all please go to chapter number 5. Why you all please go to chapter number 5? उसका कारण मैं आपको बताता हूँ. Because chapter number 5 is again a very scoring chapter, and if you just give 1 hour ना, chapter number 5 आपका 1 hour में भी सर वो कैसे? मैं तेनू समझावा की. How can chapter number 5 can be revised within 1 hour? आपको चैप्टर नंबर 5 में सिर्फ एक ही चीज पढ़ना है, वो है स्टेजेस ऑफ बिजनेस साइकिल. यस, यू हर्ड मी वेरी करेक्ट. आपको पढ़ना है स्टेजेस ऑफ बिजनेस साइकिल. वंस मोर, यू हैव टू स्टडी ओनली वन थिंग, दैट इज स्टेजेस ऑफ बिजनेस साइकिल. I can repeat for you once again. You have to study only one thing, stages. Can someone tell me on the chat box, there are how many stages in business cycle? Come on, fast, all of you. There are only, come on. Super. There are how many stages? अरे बोलिए जल्दी. भूल गए क्या? Did you forgot? There are how many stages in business cycle? I hope you all are able to hear me. मेरी आवाज आ रही है आप सब तक? Okay, great. Come on, tell me. क्या बात है? Superb. There are 4 stages of business cycle. आपको ये 4 stages बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ना है. Stage number 1, if you remember, is nothing but expansion. Stage number 2 is your extended version of expansion, जिसको हम बड़े प्यार से peak भी बोलते हैं. जिसको हम बड़े प्यार से peak बोलते हैं. Stage number 3 is nothing but your contraction or recession. And finally, the extended version of contraction or recession is nothing but your depression or trough. My dear rock stars, my dear champions, you have to be thorough with all the 4 stages. I'm repeating once again, you have to be thorough with all the 4 stages. You have to be thorough with all the 4 stages. I'll quickly revise within next 2 to 5 minutes. Stage number 1, expansion. Expansion mein everything will increase except भूल गया, चलो मैं याद दिला देता हूं. Stage number 1, expansion में everything will increase except your unemployment. Unemployment will be the only thing which will be falling, rest everything will be increasing. Your demand will increase, supply will increase, production will increase, economic activity will increase, GDP will increase. So because of which the national income will increase. Other than national income, if you remember, your banking activities will increase because people will automatically start savings more, and savings will eventually turn out to be investment. Savings से ही आपका क्या होगा? सेविंग से ही जो है वो आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा, और इन्वेस्टमेंट से ज्यादा लोन्स दिए जाएंगे. लोन्स देने से कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन बढ़ेगा, और कैनाई से कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन बढ़ने से दोबारा प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा, एंड प्रोडक्शन बढ़ने के लिए यू रिक्वायर रिसोर्सेस. Once more, I can repeat for you. Production बढ़ने के लिए you require resources. Once more, production बढ़ने के लिए you require something called as resources. When I say production बढ़ने के लिए you require something called as resources, so human resource की जरूरत आपको ज्यादा पड़ेगी. So employment will increase. My dear, if employment increases, what will decrease? Unemployment will decrease. So therefore, I said everything will be increasing except unemployment. और unemployment अगर होगा भी ना, तो it will be either frictional or structural unemployment. I can repeat for you. It will be either frictional or structural unemployment. उसके अलावा मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे यारों, involuntary unemployment will almost be zero. ऐसा कुछ अपना बात हुआ था रेगुलर लेक्चर में भी. Involuntary unemployment will be almost zero. हाँ या ना? ओके, बढ़िया. तो जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ involuntary unemployment will be almost zero, तो सर कौन से टाइप का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा? इट विल बी आइदर फ्रिक्शनल और स्ट्रक्चरल. ये आपका स्टेज 1 एक्सपेंशन था. स्टेज 2 पीक. पीक इज एन एक्सटेंडेड वर्जन ऑफ एक्सपेंशन. पीक में क्या होगा मालूम है? प्राइसेस विल इंक्रीज बियॉन्ड अ लिमिट. ऑल ऑफ यू कम ऑन. प्राइसेस विल इंक्रीज बियॉन्ड अ लिमिट. अगर प्राइसेस, if the prices are increasing beyond a limit, once more, if the prices are increasing beyond a limit, come on, quickly tell me what will happen. If the prices are increasing beyond a limit, my dear, can I say people will now start to control their expenditure? Moment people are controlling their expenditure, once again, moment people are controlling their expenditure, the demand will fall, and moment the demand falls, you all know it is end of expansion or peak. It is start of contraction or recession. And contraction and recession is your third stage. जैसे ही demand fall हुआ ना, सब कुछ fall होएगा. Production fall होएगा, economic activity fall होएगा. अरे मेरे भाई, अगर economic activity fall होएगा तो employment will also fall. If employment falls, you very well know what will happen. Unemployment will increase. So people will not have income in their hand. If they are not having income in their hand, the money supply will fall. In short, मैं ज्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जा रहा because we have to cover. तो मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे यारों, कहने का मतलब क्या है exactly, Dhrumi madam? Middle class people will try to control their expenditure. So my dear lovely students, my dear champions, my dear rock stars, my dear sweethearts, come on, tell me. Recession में everything will fall except unemployment. So unemployment is the only thing which will increase. Once more, unemployment is the only thing which will increase. Rest everything will fall, everything will decrease. Are we very clear with the third stage? Quickly अभी मैं थोड़ा फोर्थ स्टेज के बारे में भी बात कर देता हूं मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे यारों. In your fourth stage, depression. Depression is an extended version of recession. Depression में खाली क्या होएगा मालूम है? There will be only 3 changes in depression. Number 1, growth rate in your country will be negative. All of you, growth rate in your country will be negative. अगर जो मैं बोल रहा हूं that growth rate in your country will be negative. Once again, growth rate in your country will be negative. तो बॉस, सर रिसेशन में ग्रोथ फॉल हो रहा था ना राजा, रिसेशन में ग्रोथ फॉल हो रहा था, बट वो स्टिल इट वाज पॉजिटिव. एक बात बोलूं, रिसेशन में आपका इकोनॉमी वेंटिलेटर पे है. रादर आई वुड से रिसेशन में आपका इकोनॉमी इज एडमिटेड इन अ हॉस्पिटल. डिप्रेशन में तो वेंटिलेटर पे चला गया है. वेरी डेंजर. सो माय डियर, कम ऑन, क्विकली क्विकली क्विकली, कम ऑन. तो अगर आपको याद रहेगा तो हमने ऐसा कुछ बात किया होगा दैट ग्रोथ रेट विल बिकम नेगेटिव ड्यूरिंग डिप्रेशन. मेनी फर्म्स विल शट डाउन देयर बिजनेस. मैंने मजाक में ऐसा बोला रहेगा कि गोदरेज का ताला लगाएंगे. मैंने मजाक में ऐसा बोला रहेगा कि गोदरेज का ताला लगा देंगे. सो मेनी फर्म्स विल शट डाउन. एंड द थर्ड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, banks will start becoming bankrupt. Yes, you heard me very correct. Banks will start becoming bankrupt. Once more, banks will start becoming bankrupt. Banks will start becoming bankrupt. So these are the 3 important things. And of course, the national income will fall rapidly. So depression with 3 important changes. Change number 1, growth rate will become negative. Change number 2, मैंने क्या बोला जरा जल्दी बताओ, fast all of you. The most important thing, many firms will shut down, and finally banks will become bankrupt. But let me tell you, in life nothing is permanent, no situation is permanent. So depression के बाद again there will be a recovery. डिप्रेशन के बाद अगेन देयर विल बी अ रिकवरी. लेट मी टेल यू वंस अगेन, डिप्रेशन के बाद अगेन देयर विल बी अ रिकवरी. जी हाँ, बहुत सही सुना आपने. डिप्रेशन के बाद अगेन देयर विल बी अ रिकवरी. व्हेन आई से डिप्रेशन के बाद अगेन देयर विल बी अ रिकवरी, मतलब अगेन रिकवरी इज नथिंग बट एक्सपेंशन, राइट? इवेंचुअली पीपल विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग इवन एट अ लोअर सैलरी. वो सब मैंने आपको स्टोरी बोली थी. Now people will, even though they are working at a lower salary, after a point of time they will be getting some income, so they will start spending. Moment they start spending, the demand will increase, and if the demand increases, आगे का story आपको पता है. Are we super duper crispy crystal clear with all the 4 stages? Are you all happy with this revision of the 4 stages? Majak majak mein, the time is near about 8:30. Come on, like this we have to revise the other 3 chapters also. Are we very clear, my dear champions? yahan tak kisi ko koi shak koi sawal. So chapter number 5 mein, if you know the 4 stages, you know the entire chapter. Again I am repeating, solve all the ICI ka book back MCQs from chapter number 5. And then the model test paper तो आपने solve करना ही है after completing the syllabus. And classes में हमने जो आपके test लिए थे chapter wise, it would be very nice if you go through that also. So I hope so. Chapter number 1 and 5 you can easily cover in 2 to 3 years. Both the chapters put together can be covered in 3 years. Yes or no? Both the chapters put together can be covered in 2 to 3 years. Can I have a yes or no from everyone? Come on. Are we very clear with this? Respond all of you. Done. Done. Pakka. Okay. Now, आराम से. तो चैप्टर नंबर 1 and 5 में आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है. आई होप सो. लास्ट 15-20 minutes was very crucial. Now, what are we going to do is, what am I going to do is, chapter number 2. You very well know chapter number 2 I have divided into 7 units. If you remember, chapter number 2 has been divided into 7 units, my dear. चैप्टर नंबर 2 को हमने जो है वो 7 यूनिट्स में डिवाइड किया था. As per your ICI module, there are only 3 units in chapter number 2. But for your simplicity, for your easy understanding, we had divided that into 7 units. Do you remember that? Very quickly, हम उसका एक glance ले लेते हैं. Let me tell you, don't play with chapter number 2, 3, 4, because from chapter number 2, 3, 4, I'm repeating, from chapter number 2, 3, 4, you can expect a 35 to 40 MCQs. In fact, there have been attempts where they have asked about 15 to 18 MCQs from chapter number 2 alone. They have asked 15 to 18 MCQs from chapter number 2 alone. तो chapter number 2 से वो लोग ने 15 से 18 MCQ पूछा है. तो इसमें आप जरा भी मस्ती नहीं कर सकते. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. Very quickly, I'll show you something. Wait. Yes, buddies, I'm sharing the screen. Just a moment. So if you remember, there are about 7 units in your chapter number 2. Actually, it is 3 as per ICI module, but for your simplicity, I have made it into 7 units. Just have a look here. You can clearly see. Unit number A is your demand. Unit B I have given supply. अभी यहाँ पे मैंने 1 hour लिखा है, that was for your regular studies, but now I cannot expect you to do regular studies. मैं ये assume कर रहा हूँ कि आपने already जो है वो थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ा हुआ है. Yes. So please demand supply को आप एक 30 to 45 minutes में revise करेंगे. Demand के factors, variation in demand and change in demand, that's very important. Variation in demand can be also called as movement along the same demand curve or change in quantity demand. It can be also called as movement along the same demand curve or change in quantity demanded. Whereas your change in demand and supply can be also called as shift in demand and supply, rightward shift, leftward shift. So please don't take more than half an hour to 40 minutes for revising demand supply. Then coming to the next 2 units, my request would be that आप elasticity of demand or elasticity of supply को भी साथ में revise करेंगे. You very well know elasticity of demand में क्या होगा. You very well know types है types. After types, there is something called as methods. After that, you have something called as sums. When I say sums, तो elasticity में से कौन से sums you can expect. Please arc elasticity के sums को practice करके जाना. So only I have put the word arc elasticity in the box. You can clearly see here. So very important. I want you all to, yes, go through the entire sums of arc elasticity. Yes, elasticity of demand ka types is very simple. Price elasticity, income elasticity, cross elasticity, advertisement elasticity. Not a big deal. Methods mein one method you have to do from that MCQ can come arc elasticity. Baki ka methods ek bar go through kar. Then if you know elasticity of demand, trust me, you will easily know elasticity of supply. Then my dear champions, my dear lovely students, utility में cardinal approach में there's not something rocket science here. You already know what is marginal utility, what is total utility, and then you are already aware about your something called as consumer surplus. You are already aware about something called as consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is nothing but it is a difference between how much a consumer is ready to pay and what he actually pays. How much a consumer is ready to pay and what he actually pays. That is your consumer surplus. Then the most important concept, utility ordinal approach. Ordinal approach is nothing but your indifference curves. So indifference curve ka introduction. If you remember quickly, I'll revise. Combination of 2 commodities which will give you the same level of satisfaction. Once again, combination of 2 commodities which is going to give you the same level of satisfaction. Then if you remember, indifference curves are downward sloping because of inverse relation. Then my dear champions, my dear rockstars, उसके अलावा अगर आपको याद रहेगा तो indifference map. Indifference map is nothing but higher the IC, higher was the level of satisfaction. Lower the IC, lower was the level of satisfaction. So More the distance of the indifference curve from the origin, more is the stock of goods, and more stock of goods is definitely going to give you more level of satisfaction. So that was your indifference map. And very important properties of indifference curve. Property number one, indifference curve is downward sloping. Property number two, it is convex to the origin. Sweethearts, why it is convex to the origin? Because of inverse relationship. Because of inverse relation, no doubt it is downward sloping. It is convex to the origin because your MRS is reducing. When I say MRS is reducing, MRS is nothing but marginal rate of substitution. MRS is nothing but marginal rate of substitution. So वो फॉल हो रहा है, इसके वजह से it is convex to the origin. अब ये थोड़ा ध्यान देना इंडिफरेंस कर्व के ऊपर. आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक फॉर अबाउट 5 मिनट्स ऑन इंडिफरेंस कर्व. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसके ऊपर से जो है वो आपको एमसीक्यूज वगैरह आ सकते हैं. सो प्लीज पे अटेंशन हियर, प्लीज पे अटेंशन हियर. यस, सो मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे यारों, सो इंडिफरेंस कर्व का अगर मैं बात करूं तो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी नंबर वन. कम ऑन ऑल ऑफ यू कैन क्विकली रिवाइज विद मी. इट इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग बिकॉज ऑफ इनवर्स रिलेशन. Then property number two, convex to the origin. Sweethearts, why it is convex to the origin? Because MRS is falling. Then if you remember, property number three, indifference map se related hai. Higher the indifference curve, higher is the level of satisfaction. Lower the indifference curve, lower is the level of satisfaction. Property number four, two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Why they cannot intersect each other, my dear? Because the level of satisfaction is different. Since the level of satisfaction is different, therefore they cannot intersect each other. Vedant has asked me one question on the chat box. Sir, can we get past paper of economics? Definitely you can get from the ICA website, or not from ICA website तो आपको Google से तो मिल ही जाएगा. And still, if you are facing any difficulty to get the past exam paper, you kindly let us know in the class. We will send you. Don't worry. 100% we will send you from our side. May 18, November 18, May 19, November 19, then November 20, Jan 21 opt-out exam, and July 21. 6 to 7 papers. You will get it from the net. But if you are facing any difficulty, अगर आपको नहीं मिल रहा है, तो don't waste your time in searching for it. What we will do is here, we will send it to you. Don't worry. Done. Chalega? Okay. Come on. Very quickly, let's continue with our properties of indifference curves once again. So the fourth property, two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Why two indifference curves cannot intersect each other? Because you very well know the level of satisfaction is different. And the last property, two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. Why they cannot intersect each other? तो अभी हमने बात किया. The last property, indifference curve cannot touch the axis. Why it cannot touch the axis? Because either of the commodity should not be zero. Once again, it cannot touch the axis because either of the commodity should not be zero. Yes, you heard me very correct. Either of the commodity should not be zero. I hope so. We are very clear. अच्छा, don't worry Vedant, we'll send it. I'll see to it now. आपको मिल जाएगा. Don't worry. Yeah. Okay. Are we very clear with all the properties of indifference curves, my dear? Are we super duper clear with the properties of indifference curves? Okay, Vedant, we'll do that. Are we very clear with the properties of indifference curves? Done. Okay. Now, एक और चीज आपको याद रखना है. If it is a substitute good, MRS will be constant. So in that case, your indifference neither convex nor concave. Once more, if it is a substitute good, it will be a downward sloping straight line that is neither convex nor concave because MRS will be constant. And last but not the least, if it is a complementary good. Once more, if it is a complementary good, once more I can repeat, if it is a complementary good, it will be L shape, a right angle, and MRS in that case will be zero because complementary goods के case में you require both. So both the commodities will increase, direct relation. So उस case में it will be what? Come on, say first all of you. उस case में, my dear, it is going to be your L shape, a right angle shape. Slope will be upward. Are we very clear with the properties of indifference curve, right? The last concept अगर आपको याद रहेगा तो price line या budget line था. So there are three possibilities in that budget line: inside the budget line, on the budget line, outside the budget line. but you very well know which will be best. On the budget line will be the best. So I will be merging indifference curve and budget line. So come on, I want everyone to answer me. Which indifference curve I will be selecting? Will I be selecting the indifference curve which is inside the budget line, or the indifference curve on the budget line, or the indifference curve outside the budget line? So definitely I will be selecting the indifference curve which is on the budget line. Once more, I will be selecting the indifference curve which is on the budget line. On matlab indifference curve and budget line will be equal. सब लोग जरा फटफट बोलिए. On matlab your indifference curve and budget line will be equal. When I say that your indifference curve and budget line will be equal, उस equal को ही हम बड़े प्यार से बोलेंगे equilibrium. उस इक्वल को ही हम बड़े प्यार से बोलेंगे इक्विलिब्रियम. Once again, उस इक्वल को ही हम बड़े प्यार से बोलेंगे इक्विलिब्रियम. So therefore that concept is also known as consumer equilibrium through indifference curves. Are we very clear with this, boss? Are we super duper clear? See, I took more than 5-10 minutes to revise indifference curve because it's an important concept. From that MCQs can come. The last unit of chapter number 2, demand forecasting, that's not a big deal. Uske andar you have to just study some introduction, and after that introduction you have to study the methods of demand forecasting. So that will not take much time. I'll do the share screening for you. Just a moment. Yeah, there you can see, my dear. Yes, so demand forecasting, you can very quickly see. Yes, boss. The introduction, types and methods. So demand forecasting ka ek baar you can go through the introduction. After the introduction, yes, the types and finally the methods. वो एक बार आप notes से go through कर लेना. Yes, I hope so. We are very clear. And हाँ, chapter 2 में से lot of MCQs can come. Again, I am repeating, at least 15 MCQs are expected on December 19th. At least 15 MCQs are expected. So again, I'm repeating, in your ICI module, there are about 100 to 120 MCQs in chapter number 2. You have to be thorough with all the MCQs. वो सारे MCQs जो है आपने solve करने हैं at any cost. Then mock test paper वाले MCQ, past examination question. And if any of you are having scanner, of course you can solve MCQs from scanner also. You can solve MCQs from scanner also. So go for solving of as many MCQs as possible. हो सके उतना MCQs solve करते रहिए. Go for maximum solving of MCQs. I'm repeating once again. Go for maximum solving of MCQs of chapter number 2. And any difficulty if you are facing, you very well know, you can send your doubts to our classes ka number. That doubts comes to me. You will get a reply with full detailed justification. You will get a reply with full detailed justification. जो भी आपके doubts रहेंगे, you can send it. Are we very clear? तो again I am repeating. Yes, Vedant, अपने classes के example में it was IC2. So are we very clear with about the idea of chapter number 2? तो हमने पहले 15-20 मिनट में chapter 1 और 5 को रिवाइज किया. बाद वाले 15-20 मिनट में हमने chapter 2 को क्विक रिवीजन कर रहे हैं हम लोग. क्विक रिवीजन. This is not a detailed revision because 1 hour में हम लोग डिटेल में रिवीजन वैसे भी नहीं कर सकते. Hi Prathamesh. Are we very clear, my dear champions? Are you getting the confidence? Then Vedant, if you have completed ICI module के MCQs, then for you go for scanner MCQs. Scanner के अलावा 9 बजे से पहले ना मैं आप लोगों को एक और जैकपॉट बताने वाला हूँ. Yes, मैं आपको एक और जैकपॉट बताने वाला हूँ. Don't worry. What is that jackpot? अभी नहीं बताऊंगा, लास्ट में बताऊंगा. So students, if कोई स्टूडेंट बोलेगा सर मैंने ऑलरेडी ICI मॉड्यूल कंप्लीट कर लिया है, क्लासेस का टेस्ट भी कंप्लीट कर लिया है, so I'll be telling you one more jackpot. But before that, last का 15 मिनट में shall we quickly revise chapter 3 and chapter 4 without wasting further time? All of you, come on. Okay. Come on. Chapter number 3 and chapter number 4. The most important chapters. This is the reason why I have kept it in the end. All those who are watching this session live on YouTube, अभी आप देखना लास्ट के 15 मिनट में मेरे अंदर एक अलग एनर्जी लेवल आएगा, बिकॉज दिस इज माय पर्सनल फेवरेट चैप्टर. आई टेल यू व्हाई. 50% of your paper, yes, you heard me very correct, my dear students, 50% of your question paper is going to be from these two chapters. So we can expect about 25 to 30 MCQs from chapter 3 and 4. I don't know why some students face a lot of difficulty in this chapter, but if you ask me, this chapter is in my language, जो मैं classes में use करता था. This chapter is not at all scoring, but it is very, very scoring. This chapter is not at all scoring, but it is very, very scoring. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. अगर आपने थोड़ा plan किया और आपने थोड़ा smart work किया ना, trust me, this is the most awesome chapter ever. This is the most awesome chapter ever. So chapter 3 is divided into two parts, production and part B is cost. So if you ask me, production में you have to study only two concepts. एक short run वाला law, दूसरा long run वाला law. Sir, what is this short run wala law you are talking about? Law of variable proportions. Law of variable proportions. Sir, what is short run? If you remember, short run is something where at least one factor is fixed. I can repeat for you. Short run is something where at least one factor is fixed. Short run is something where at least one factor is fixed, and long run is something where all factors are variable. तो एक और बार, short run means at least one factor is fixed or at least one factor is variable. This is short run. In other words, all factors cannot be fixed, all factors cannot be variable. Now, my dear lovely students, long run means all factors are variable. So your law of variable proportion will work only in the short run and not in the long run. So this law, in this entire law, only one factor will be variable, that is labor. तो जब मैं बोल रहा that in this entire law only one factor will be variable, that is labor, what do I mean by that? तो पूरे लॉ में I can increase or decrease only labor, so my productivity in this will exclusively depend only on labor. हाँ बोलो हाँ. Yes. So my dear students, law of variable proportion works in how many stages? 3 stages. Increasing returns, diminishing returns, negative returns. If you remember, out of the 3 stages, stage 2 is the best. Why stage 2 is the best? Because no doubt the returns are diminishing. It is increasing, but at a slower rate, but still it is increasing. So the output will be maximum in stage number 2. You heard me very correct. Output will be maximum in stage number 2. Once again, the output will be maximum in stage number 2. Right? मेरे को एक बात बताइए. 3 concepts to be remembered here. Please listen to me very carefully now. Last few minutes, I want your energy level to be very high. If you remember, TP, AP, MP, ऐसा बोल के कुछ हमने पढ़ा था. Once more, TP, AP, MP, something like that we would have studied. What is TP? Total product. What is AP? Average product. And what is MP? Marginal product. So if you remember, all the 3 will be rising and falling. Come on, everyone with me. All the 3 will be rising and falling. Since all the 3 will be rising and falling, therefore the diagram will be a bell-shaped curve. Bell-shape matlab reverse you, like a mountain, rising and falling. But let me tell you, out of the 3, marginal will rise fast and fall fast. ऐसा कुछ अपना बात हुआ था lectures में. Marginal will rise fast and fall fast. Once more, marginal will rise fast and fall fast. Average will rise slow and fall slow. No need of talking separately about total, because average is derived from total only. So as a businessman, for me, what is very important? For me, average is very important, boss. Not only for a businessman, for a student also, average is very important. For a cricketer also, average is very important. जो बंदा गाड़ी चला रहा है, 2-wheeler, 4-wheeler, for him or her also, average is very important. So my dear lovely students, my dear champions, my dear rock stars, my dear lovely students, my dear champions, my dear rock stars, come on, let me tell you, average. So guys, you very well know that starting my average and marginal both will increase. Once again, starting my average and marginal both will increase. When I say average and marginal both will increase, what will happen? Marginal will increase faster, so marginal will be greater than average, so MP will be greater than AP, so the AP will be increasing. And then if you remember, एक point ऐसा आएगा जहाँ पे MP and AP will be equal, and when MP and AP will be equal, you very well know AP will be maximum. And finally, last May, you very well know AP and MP both are falling, but MP will fall faster and MP will become negative. So now who will be greater than whom? AP will be greater than MP. Once again, AP will be greater than MP. Why AP will be greater than MP? Because you very well know after a point when average marginal both fall, marginal will fall at a faster rate. So average will be more. So in a very simple language, my dear champions, starting में AP rise होएगा, MP will be above AP. बाद में AP maximum होएगा, दोनों equal होंगे. Then AP will fall. AP will fall means you very well know AP will be above, MP will be below. Very simple. Important things to remember here. Stage 1, your MP will start falling in stage 1 only. ये मैंने lecture में भी बोला था. Why MP will start falling in stage 1 only? Because if MP doesn't fall in stage 1, it cannot come and meet average. It cannot come and meet average. So MP has to fall in stage 1 only. Stage 2, average will start falling. And stage 3, total will start falling. Once again with me, stage 1, marginal will start falling. If you remember the point where marginal is maximum, it is called as point of inflection. It is called as point of inflection. Stage 2, you very well know, average will start falling, and finally stage 3, total will start falling. So come on, repeat with me. Stage 1, marginal will start falling after the point of inflection. Stage 2, average will start falling. Stage 3, total will start falling. Moment total falls. Come on, all of you. Moment total falls. Moment total falls. Your marginal will become negative. Did you get some idea about law of variable proportion? All of you, come on. Everyone, are we super duper clear? Last few minutes, very quickly, we'll continue. Are we very, very clear? Respond, all of you. Done. Now coming to your long run wala law. Long run वाले law में कोई बड़ा challenge नहीं है. It is law of returns to scale, increasing returns. After increasing returns, if you remember, we would have also discussed constant returns, and after that, if you remember, decreasing returns. So increasing returns में percentage of output will be more. Constant returns में they both will be same, and decreasing returns में percentage of input will be more. Once again, decreasing returns में percentage of input will be more. If percentage of input will be more, you very well know what happens. Input is greater than output, right? ऐसा होता क्यों है? क्यों एक स्टेज में आउटपुट का परसेंटेज ज्यादा है? दैट इज कम इनपुट में भी आउटपुट ज्यादा है, बट डिक्रीजिंग रिटर्न्स में ज्यादा इनपुट में भी आउटपुट कम है. उसका रीजन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड, इकोनॉमीज एंड डिसइकोनॉमीज, ऐसा बोल के कुछ हमने बात किया. वंस मोर, उसका रीजन इकोनॉमीज एंड डिसइकोनॉमीज, ऐसा बोल के कुछ हमने बात किया हुआ है. इकोनॉमीज का मतलब होता है एडवांटेजेस, डिसइकोनॉमीज का मतलब होता है डिसएडवांटेजेस. वंस अगेन, इकोनॉमीज का मतलब होता है एडवांटेजेस, डिसइकोनॉमीज का मतलब होता है डिसएडवांटेज. सो इन एवरी स्टेज देयर इज एडवांटेज एज वेल एज डिसएडवांटेज. तो स्टेज 1 में द एडवांटेज इज मोर, सो इकोनॉमीज इज मोर. Stage 2 में they both are equal. Stage 3 में the disadvantages are more. Once again, all of you, the disadvantages are more. Done, boss. Very, very clear with this. आपको समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? और इसी से हमने कॉस्ट कर्व भी डिराइव किया था. क्यों मालूम है? योर कॉस्ट कर्व्स इज द मिरर इमेज ऑफ योर प्रोडक्शन कर्व्स. योर कॉस्ट कर्व्स इज द मिरर इमेज ऑफ योर प्रोडक्शन कर्व. स्टेज 1 में with less and less input, more and more output. Why? Because advantage, economies are more, so the cost will be falling. At a lesser input means at a lesser cost. But after a point when the diseconomy starts, your output is not increasing even at a higher input, so the cost will rise. So if you remember, the cost will fall and rise. All of you with me? The cost will fall and rise. If the cost will fall and rise, can I say it will be nothing but your cost curves will be which shape? Your cost curves will be U shape. Once again, all of you, your cost curves will be nothing but U shape. So are we very clear कि आपका cost curve U shape क्यों होगा boss? Are we very clear that why your cost curves will be U shape? Once again, come on, repeat with me. Why your cost curves will be U shape? Are we very clear, my dear? कॉस्ट कर्व यू शेप क्यों होगा, उसका लॉजिक आपको समझ में आ रहा है, राइट? ओके, नाउ माय डियर लवली स्टूडेंट्स, कॉस्ट चैप्टर में आपने क्या रिवाइज करना है? कॉस्ट चैप्टर में यू हैव टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल स्टडी ऑल द टाइप्स ऑफ कॉस्ट. देयर आर अबाउट 18 to 19 टाइप्स ऑफ कॉस्ट, वो आपने पढ़ना है. आफ्टर स्टडिंग दैट 18 to 19 टाइप्स ऑफ कॉस्ट चैप्टर में से भी यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट सम सम्स. सर सम्स कहां से आएंगे? तो टोटल कॉस्ट, एवरेज कॉस्ट, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट के सम्स आएंगे. वंस अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग, टोटल कॉस्ट, एवरेज कॉस्ट, मार्जिनल कॉस्ट के सम्स आएंगे. उसके बाद वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन एसी एंड एमसी. I am repeating, relationship between AC and MC. You very well know when I say relationship between AC and MC, what do I mean by that? You very well know what do I mean by that, the relationship between AC and MC. So your cost curves are the mirror image of your production curves. So you very well know when I say AC and MC, so my dear champions, when AC falls, MC will fall at a faster rate. Once again, when AC falls, MC will fall at a faster rate. Come on, all of you. When AC falls, MC will fall at a faster rate, right? And when AC rises, MC will rise at a faster rate. So there are only three possibilities. What are those three possibilities? Come on, let me quickly show you on the screen. Let me quickly show you on the screen. तो ये आप देख सकते हैं, रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन AC एंड MC. तो विच इज द बेस्ट पॉसिबिलिटी आउट ऑफ द थ्री? तो आप देख सकते हैं ये सेकंड वाला मैंने 6 स्टार किया है उसमें. Why? Because the cost is minimum. When I say the cost is minimum, which means the resources are fully utilized. When I say that the cost is minimum, which means the resources are fully utilized. Once again, when I say the cost is minimum, the resources are fully utilized. So average, come on, average cost should be minimum. देखो marginal cost बढ़ेगा चलेगा. If the output is increasing, the marginal cost has to increase. But let me tell you, average cost should never increase. Average cost should always be minimum. So less cost, more output. Once again, all of you, less cost, more output. इसी को हम बड़े प्यार से बोलते हैं efficient या optimum point. Everyone with me? इसी को हम बड़े प्यार से बोलते हैं efficient या optimum point. Resources should be fully utilized. उससे पहले it will be underutilization before the efficient point. After the efficient point, it will be overutilization. So I hope so we are very clear. So marginal has to pass through minimum of average. Everyone on the chat box, are we very clear? Uske baad you very well know all the cost curves are U-shaped. All the cost curves are U-shaped except your AFC. So AFC is the only curve which will be downward sloping because of inverse relation with output. So AFC एकलौता ऐसा कर्व है जो आपका इनवर्स रिलेशन की वजह से डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग होगा. Then my dear, if you remember, your short run and long run average cost curve के बारे में अपन ने बात किया रहेगा. Short run and long run average cost curve. So your when I make a big U shape, उसके अंदर हम छोटा छोटा U shape बनाते हैं, right? Inside the big U shape हम छोटा छोटा U shape बनाते हैं. And if you remember, we select that SAC. Come on, जो SAC का भी lowest है, LAC का भी lowest है. So again, the intention is very clear. At a lesser cost, the output has to be more. I can repeat for you. At a lesser cost, the output has to be more. I'll quickly share on the screen. At a lesser cost, the output should be more. Once more. At a lesser cost, the output should be more. So when I say at a lesser cost, the output should be more, तो ये आप देख सकते हैं. ये देखिए. There you can see, my dear. तो ये जो SAC3 है ना, वो LAC का भी लोएस्ट है, SAC का भी लोएस्ट है. इसके लिए उसको हम बोलेंगे एफिशिएंट या ऑप्टिमम पॉइंट. Efficient या optimum point, less cost, more output, right? So LAC curve can be also called as planning curve. Why planning curve? Because it is helping the businessman to plan whether to be on plant 1, plant 2, plant 3. Other than that, it can be also called as envelope curve because inside the envelope there are small SACs, right? So we are already aware about this. So with this we complete the revision of production and cost also. With this we complete the revision of production and cost also. I will not take more than 5 minutes का time to speak something about market. मैं आपको एक स्टेट्यूटरी वार्निंग दे रहा हूँ, रिसेंट एक दो अटेम्प्ट्स में है ना, मार्केट चैप्टर से वो लोग ने 22 या 23 क्वेश्चन भी पूछे हुए हैं। मार्केट चैप्टर से हम लोग ने 22 या 23 क्वेश्चंस भी पूछे हुए हैं, तो मेहरबानी करके मार्केट चैप्टर के साथ मस्ती मत करना प्लीज। एंड यू वेरी वेल नो इकोनॉमिक्स का सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज ये है कि आप कम पढ़ाई करके जो है वो ज्यादा मार्क्स लेके आ सकते हैं, राइट? तो मैंने मार्केट चैप्टर के लिए बहुत ही शॉर्टकट बनाया, तो 5 मिनट में अपन जो है उसको फट से रिवाइज कर लेंगे। यस, वेरी क्विकली वी विल रिवाइज इट, या, and then we can end, and I would like to give you some useful tips. So more than 5 minutes it will not take, just give me 1 minute ka time. I am sharing the screen for market. Yes boss, मैं आपके लिए शेयर स्क्रीन कर रहा हूँ, जस्ट बी पेशेंट फॉर 2-3 मिनट्स। या, तो मार्केट चैप्टर में अपने स्टार्टिंग में वो इंट्रोडक्शन है थोड़ा, एंड लेट मी टेल यू, आपके मार्केट चैप्टर में अगेन द वर्ड कॉस्ट इज गोइंग टू कम, अगेन द वर्ड कॉस्ट इज गोइंग टू कम। यस, तो मार्केट चैप्टर में अपने को खेलना ही रेवेन्यू और कॉस्ट के साथ है। तो मैं मार्केट को 3-4 हिस्सों में बांट रहा हूँ, परफेक्ट कंपटीशन, मोनोपोली, मोनोपोलिस्टिक एंड ओलिगोपोली। हाँ, ये मैंने रेगुलर बैच के हिसाब से 1 आवर 2 आवर लिखा है, बट आपको वो सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपका जल्दी रिवाइज हो जाएगा। सी अकॉर्डिंग टू मी यू स्टार्ट विद ओलिगोपोली, बिकॉज ओलिगोपोली का खाली फीचर्स और टाइप्स है और एक ही डायग्राम है, किंग डिमांड का, बाकी कुछ भी नहीं है। ओलिगोपोली में यू ओनली हैव द फीचर्स, टाइप्स, and then you have something called as kinked demand curve, जो बहुत ही easy है। Then coming to the other 3 markets, my dear, तीनों मार्केट के फीचर्स आपको पता होने चाहिए। यस, तीनों मार्केट का फीचर के बाद बिहेवियर ऑफ टीआर, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लेट मी टेल यू, योर टीआर अंडर परफेक्ट कंपटीशन विल इंक्रीज एट अ TR under perfect competition will increase at a constant rate because of same price. I repeat, TR under perfect competition will increase at a constant rate because of same price, but your TR under monopoly and monopolistic competition will increase at a diminishing rate or slower rate because of different price. Then TR और TC का comparison करना है diagram में। Then very important, your AR and MR will be same only in perfect competition because of same price. So perfect competition will be the only market where AR and MR will be same because of same price. In other markets they will not be same because in other markets the prices are different. So perfect competition means since the prices are same, so your AR and MR curve will be a horizontal straight line. Once again I can repeat, your AR and MR curve will be a horizontal straight line. ये आप देख सकते हैं, AR and MR curve will be a horizontal straight line because of same price, and it is the only market where AR and MR will be same. But let me tell you, in your other markets, monopoly, AR and MR curve will be downward sloping because of inverse relation. Monopolistic may be downward sloping because of inverse relation. But what will be the difference? The shape in monopoly will be steeper because monopoly ka demand is inelastic, but in monopolistic it will be flatter because of elastic. It will be flatter because of elastic. My dear, the fifth point is the common point in all the markets. Fifth point will be the common point in all the markets. Why it will be a common point? Because output को determine करना है। आप आउटपुट को कैसे डिटरमाइन करेंगे? एवरी बिजनेसमैन वांट्स मैक्सिमम आउटपुट, मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट. सो टू डिटरमाइन आउटपुट, कंपेयर मार्जिनल कॉस्ट एंड मार्जिनल रेवेन्यू. द रूल विल रिमेन द सेम फॉर ऑल द 3 मार्केट्स. MC should be equal to MR. MC should cut MR from B. Once again, MC should be equal to MR. MC should cut MR from B. So MC MR comparison. MC should be equal to MR. MC should cut MR from below. right? So there will be two intersections of MCMR, but you will go with the second intersection because the output should be maximum. So every businessman wants maximum output, maximum profit. So for that, and sir, why are we taking marginal cost into picture? Because output has got a direct connection with marginal cost. Once again, output has got a direct connection with marginal cost. So MC should be equal to MR. MC should cut MR from below. This will remain the same for all the markets. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, शॉर्ट रन में परफेक्ट कंपटीशन को क्या होएगा, तीनों भी होएगा, सुपर नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस बिकॉज ऑफ फ्री एंट्री फ्री एग्जिट. मोनोपोली एंड मोनोपोलिस्टिक में शॉर्ट रन में नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट नहीं होगा. क्यों नॉर्मल प्रॉफिट नहीं होगा? पहली बात तो मोनोपोली में देयर इज नो फ्री एंट्री फ्री एग्जिट. Monopolistic mein there is free entry free exit, but the new seller is not going to enter with the exactly same product. He is going to come with a slightly different product. So therefore normal profit is not possible. Normal profit in the short run is possible only in perfect competition, not in any other market. But agar main long run ka baat karu, so eventually in the long run the customer will get divided. Once more, eventually in the long run the customer will get divided. So in the long run, monopoly will be the only seller who can earn supernormal profit. Let me tell you, monopoly will be the only seller who will earn supernormal profit. Baki ke do seller will earn only normal profit because of free entry free exit. And last but not the least, something which monopoly can do but other two sellers cannot do is price discrimination. Why he can do price discrimination? Because he is a price maker and he is not a price taker. I hope so. ये मार्केट चैप्टर का रिवीजन आपको बहुत काम आया मेरे दोस्तों, मेरे यार. यस और आई होप सो आपको ये मार्केट चैप्टर का रिवीजन काफी काम आया है. Yes, I took your 5 minutes more, but I'm damn sure that this discussion and this revision of market chapter is very, very useful for you. Yes, okay. Now, बस मैं आपका 2-3 मिनट से ज्यादा नहीं लूंगा, बट प्लीज आज का ये सेशन के बाद, हाँ मैं मानता हूं कि हम हर चैप्टर के डिटेल में तो नहीं गए, बट लेट मी टेल यू, हम हर चैप्टर के डिटेल में तो नहीं गए, बट हमने हर चैप्टर का क्विक रिवीजन लिया, और खास करके चैप्टर 2, 3, 4 का और 3 और 4 का तो हमने बहुत अच्छा रिवीजन लिया. एंड 3 और 4 में से यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट एटलीस्ट लेट मी टेल यू 25 to 30 MCQs. 50% of your paper is going to be from chapter 3 and 4. So what you should do now, those who are attending this session, those who are listening to me, अभी आपको तो पता है आपका ICI मॉड्यूल का MCQs भी कंप्लीट हुआ रहेगा, क्लासेस के टेस्ट वाले MCQ भी कंप्लीट हुए रहेंगे. So what you should do is, after revising the concept, majorly I know you will revise from your handwritten notebook जो अपन ने लिखा है उसमें से you will revise. Yes, because last moment we cannot expect that you will cover everything. Thank you Vedant for your kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know ये last 1 hour में आपका confidence अच्छा खासा बढ़ गया होगा. आपके लिए ये session रखा था भैया. Now listen to me very carefully. So either you study, maybe आप ICI module से पढ़ो चलेगा, but according to me you go through the summary notes what we have done notebook से. Then let me tell you, you might have already completed MCQs of your ICI module and अपने classes का वगैरह. Now in our classes we are going to conduct exams. तो वो exams को आपको एकदम seriously लेना है. Rather I would say that you should think that our classes का exam is only your final exam. If you take it seriously now, by default your final exam will go very nicely. Now the most important thing, ICI के वेबसाइट में अगर आप जाएंगे, बहुत ध्यान से सुनना, ये रिसेंटली चेंजेस आया हुआ है. ICI के वेबसाइट में अगर आप जाएंगे, आई एम रिपीटिंग वंस अगेन, ICI के वेबसाइट में इफ यू गो, व्हाट दे हैव डन इज, आई विल शो यू समथिंग, वेट जस्ट अ मोमेंट. ICI के वेबसाइट में इफ यू गो, व्हाट विल हैपन, आई विल शो यू, जस्ट गिव मी 1 minute. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen, my dear. ये ICI के वेबसाइट में, जस्ट अ मोमेंट, मैं शेयर स्क्रीन कर रहा हूँ. या सो ICI के वेबसाइट में जब आप जाओगे तो देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज, ये देखो ये स्टूडेंट्स वाला सेक्शन, इसके अंदर ये BOS नॉलेज पोर्टल है. मॉक पेपर तो आपको सॉल्व करना ही है आईसीआई के वेबसाइट का, बट मॉक पेपर के अलावा लिसन लिसन, फाउंडेशन कोर्स है, इसके अंदर आई एम गोइंग ऑन इकोनॉमिक्स, देन यू कैन सी ये बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स में मैं गया, there is one heading given here, study material applicable for May 22 examination. तुम बोलेगा सर मेरा तो एग्जाम दिसंबर में है तो मैं ये क्यों ओपन करूं? भाई मेरे शांति से सुन, इसके अंदर आईसीआई ने क्या ऐड किया है मालूम है जो प्रीवियस अटेम्प्ट में नहीं किया है? कैन यू सी एंड में क्वेश्चंस फॉर प्रैक्टिस बोल के दिया है, क्वेश्चंस फॉर प्रैक्टिस, कैन यू सी दिस? यस। अब ये क्वेश्चन फॉर प्रैक्टिस में आईसीआई ने 150 एमसीक्यू दिया है। कितना एमसीक्यू दिया है मालूम है आपको? 150। और ये 150 एमसीक्यू के अलावा उन्होंने ना ये कॉन्सेप्ट को समरी फॉर्मेट में दिया है, टोटल 56 कॉन्सेप्ट्स तो दिया है। मैं आपको वो 150 एमसीक्यू का एक बार ग्लांस बता देता हूँ, एक मिनट। ये एडिशनल क्वेश्चंस बोल के है, हाँ ये जो एडिशनल क्वेश्चन है ना, क्वेश्चन फॉर प्रैक्टिस, ये आपके अटेम्प्ट में उन लोगों ने नहीं दिया था। दे हैव गिवन 150 एमसीक्यूज, ये आप देख सकते हैं 150 एमसीक्यूज हैज बीन गिवन फॉर प्रैक्टिस। तो इट्स माय हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल ऑफ यू टू सॉल्व दिस 150 एमसीक्यूज। ट्रस्ट मी, इफ यू सॉल्व दिस 150 एमसीक्यूज इट्स गोना बी रियली वेरी वेरी यूजफुल फॉर यू। तो ये 150 एमसीक्यूज उन लोगों ने दिया हुआ है जो प्रीवियस अटेम्प्ट्स में नहीं दिया था। तो आप जो है वो 150 एमसीक्यूज को सॉल्व करेंगे। कहां पे मिलेगा आपको ये? तो मैंने आपको पूरा वो लिंक के साथ बताया, एडिशनल क्वेश्चंस दिया है इनसाइड May 22 अटेम्प्ट। अच्छा, नाउ वन मोर मिनट, one day before the exam what you will be doing? I would have told you this, but again I'm telling you, one day before the exam आपको क्या करना है मालूम है? आईसीआई मॉड्यूल के एवरी यूनिट के पीछे ना वो लोग ने समरी पॉइंट्स दिए हैं, so you have to go through that summary points one day before the exam. I'll repeat once again for you, one day before the exam, after every unit, not after every chapter but after every unit, उन लोग ने जो है वो summary points दिया हुआ है। तो you have to go through all the summary points. सर ये summary points कहाँ मिलेगा हमको? तो MCQ के ऊपर, just see here, MCQ के ऊपर ये देखिए, can you see this summary points? Yes, this summary points is given after every unit. So one day before the exam, please don't go through the entire ICI module, but please go through the summary points at the end of every unit. और trust me, हर unit के बाद hardly there are 10 to 15 summary points, so it will not take more than 3 hours. So one day before the exam, what you will be doing? Come on, tell me fast. You have to go through all the summary points at the end of ICI module. Only the summary points. Chapter 3-4 से न्यूमेरिकल सम्स आएंगे तो वो सम्स भी प्रैक्टिस करना। 4 to 5 MCQs can come on the basis of sum. इलास्टिसिटी में से आर्क इलास्टिसिटी आएगा, प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट के सम्स आ सकते हैं, मार्केट में रेवेन्यू कॉस्ट कंपैरिजन का भी सम आ सकता है। So don't lose marks on that. So one day before the exam, go through all the summary points only. That's it, nothing else. At the end of every unit, बाकी अगर आपको कुछ भी डाउट्स है तो you can send it on our classes का नंबर. All your queries will be answered. Please score full marks 60 on 60. Yes, I hope so. Today's session was very useful. मैंने आपको रेगुलर लेक्चर में भी बोला है, आज भी बोल रहा हूँ, अगर आप मान लो तो वो हार है, लेकिन अगर आप ठान लो तो वो जीत है। Once again, अगर आप मान लो तो वो हार है, लेकिन अगर आप ठान लो तो वो जीत है। So I wish you all the best. Score 60 on 60, and yes, see you all in CA Inter very soon. All the best wishes. Go to the exam with full confidence. I'm damn sure you all will come out in flying colors. So go to the exam with full confidence. Make your parents and we teachers proud. All the very best, my dear rockstars. See you all in CA Inter very soon. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best.